this game. So the game started with London system. White has built a very typical structure of London system, and black played knight f6 and g6. So this is a structure of India's game, and let's see how it goes. So bishop to d3. We can actually move the knight to f3, and to be honest, bishop d3, if we move bishop toward this diagonal, you will be facing a very solid pawn structure. So I mean, maybe bishop e2 is also something we can consider. So I will move knight to f3 first and bishop e2. So bishop d3 and d5. So we move the knight to d2, castle, knight f3, knight to d7, and then place c3. So white has built a very solid structure at the center, and c5. So h4, we want to attack the king side. But on the other hand, I think the g4 square will be weak, and for example, after h5, the pawn will stop our pawn pushing up, and later knight to g4. So on the other hand, do we really want to attack this very solid pawn structure? Maybe I will castling, and or h3, because black is moving the knight to h5, and we can move the bishop to h2, avoid being traded. So yeah, so I think like h4, h5, and we cannot really break through the defense. But if we castle, and I think we have something to attack at the center. This is something I would try. We could get some opportunity with e4 and e5 to get a very good control of the center. So this is, I would try to launch my attack at the center. h4, black move rook to e8, and we play knight e5 to control center. That's really great. Control center. c4, bishop back to b1. Can we move bishop to c2? Because bishop to b1, our a1 rook is stuck at the corner. So I think bishop c2 is better. And white takes, we take with the bishop, and bishop to d7, h5. Knight takes the pawn. Oh, that's a very great sacrifice. Takes, and we take the pawn. And later we can move, then okay, we can attack h7. This is great. I think black made the mistake. So on the other hand, I think black should play, I mean, actually black can ignore this pawn exchange, like queen to b6. If we take the pawn, black can just take it with the h pawn, and it's still quite safe from black's like king side. But black didn't notice this diagonal, and we take the pawn. That's great. We not only threaten queen h7, but also like queen to g5. I mean, if f5, we can move queen to g5 to attack g7. Can we just take that with the bishop? King to h8, that's a disaster. And h7. And the queen, bishop f4. We can force bishop h6 and later queen f7. Yeah, we can just take the pawn. If the king goes to f8, we can then move the knight. It takes, and knight g5. There is a mate. The bishop cannot go to e6 because knight e6 is fork. Yeah, we can take the pawn first. Knight f3, h6, and queen g6. Bishop e6, bishop f4. That's good, but actually, what black? I think black can black take our bishop 95, and then what we are trying to do? Okay, check. What are we going to do? What about, okay, e6, queen f7, knight g6, and yeah, queen g6 and later queen f7. Okay, that's a very interesting plan. But if black doesn't take our bishop, for example, queen to b6, later after taking the bishop, black will trade our queens. Check. What about knight h4? Actually, black can attack our king. Yeah, so our king will be in danger. So I think the best move for black is not taking our bishop, but to move the queen to b6 to attack our queen side. If we have a bishop at c2, we don't need to be bothered because we can move the rook to b1. But we have a bishop at b1. This is the b2 will be a target. But black made a mistake and play bishop f4. Queen 7. Take that. That's a very good move. Very interesting attack. Okay, that's a very good way to checkmate. That's good job.